And we're rolling, boom. Cool, so this video is essentially just gonna be a rundown of the last 12 months, what I've done, what I'm doing, how I've got to the point that I'm doing this. It's quite a cool story. I thought you guys might want to hear it. This video is for anyone that's looking to get started in content creation, personal branding, social media marketing, and it's also for the people around me who maybe want to see how this whole thing happened and to see what I'm up to and see how this came to be. So it all started around a year ago. I've always been into content creation. I've always been into the idea of being financially free and all this sort of stuff. Never really enjoyed the whole job thing. The idea of that, having a boss, stuff like that. I always wanted to sort of be self-employed, doing my own thing. Always been quite a creative guy as well. I started creating content on Instagram. Photography, I was doing photography for car wrapping businesses, random stuff. I was doing photography, go up to see my friend in London. I just do random bits of photography, create photo reels. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my personal brand or my social media presence. I didn't know what kind of content I actually wanted to make. So instead I just started documenting what I was doing. So at the time I was editing a video for a personal project just for fun. And I thought I'd make an edit of me editing. If you haven't seen it, I'll put it up on the screen now so for a bit of context. But when I uploaded that, a load of my mates obviously showed support. Which is, I've always had that, my mates have always been really supportive on all the stuff I do and the content I create and stuff, which I'm really grateful for. But some of them shared it to their stories and stuff, which is always a nice thing to kind of get a bit of exposure, because you never know where that kind of thing can lead. So my barber at the time shared the reel to his story. I didn't really think anything of it at the time, but it led to one of my closest friends now, Josh, finding it, and that was the first step in what I'm doing now. So at the time, Josh was running a content agency called CaptureX, and he needed a full-time editor. They picked up a few clients. They needed someone to help with their editing load and stuff like that. So Josh reached out to me after seeing the reel, and he said, "Hey mate, I really like your style, blah blah blah. Would you like to come do some work with us?" So at the time I was studying marketing at Bournemouth Uni, and for the first year and second year you do your course, and then in the third year of your studies you do what's called a placement year. So you go and work for a local company in your industry. So for me it was working for a marketing agency to kind of learn the ropes, pick up things that are relevant to the industry and stuff like that, so that you have those skills. So when you leave university after your final year, you then have something to write on your CV, you have the experience, blah blah blah. So I was working at a marketing agency at the time in Bournemouth, and it was lovely. The people there were great. It was amazing. But I kind of knew that wasn't the type of marketing I wanted to do. That wasn't how I wanted to kind of operate. It wasn't for me, right? So when Josh reached out to me and said, do you want to come work with us? I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. So through Josh, I then met Will, one of my other closest friends, and me and Will did a couple of video shoots together, a couple of editing jobs and stuff like that. I think it was to kind of see if I knew what I was doing. Thankfully I did, and it came to the point where I was then working with Josh very closely, handling a lot of their client work and stuff like that. And that kind of went on for maybe 4 or 5 months, up until about September of 2023, where CaptureX lost one of their bigger clients. And as a result, the company kind of went to shit. No one's fault really, it just didn't work out. So as a result, it was either a matter of we kind of cut the clients off, end the contracts, or I take over full responsibility of the clients and go and do it myself. So that's what I did. So I inherited a few of the clients there, which is really quite a lucky situation to be in. Then started working really closely with the existing clients to make sure that I didn't lose them. So at the time it was videography and social media work for one of my current clients, Rob. He's a great guy. He runs a really successful trading community and education platform. If you haven't checked it out, I'll leave the link in the description. He's amazing at what he does, would highly recommend. And I had a couple of other clients in the real estate niche and stuff like that. So all in all, there were about 3 or 4 clients. It's nothing crazy, but it meant that I could do it full time. And I was earning nearly double what I was earning at my placement only a few months prior. So in terms of progress, in the space of maybe 6 months, I've doubled my income. Granted, it was a weird situation in how it came about, but it ended up with me being in a really good position. From there, I thought, right, it was literally me and these clients, and I was fulfilling all of the client work and stuff like that, which meant that my days were pretty rammed. I was editing content non-stop, I was liaising with clients non-stop, I was doing X, Y, Z, I was doing everything. And at the same time, I took on some work with Dodge. So after CaptureX sort of finished, Josh went on to solely be the head producer of a podcast, the Eventful podcast. If you haven't checked it out, again, amazing, just hit 100,000 subscribers, unbelievable podcast. So I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. But I started working really closely with them, editing content for them, doing their flashy trailers. And you'll see at the start of every episode, there's an amazing trailer. So I started doing that for them as well. And I love it. I was loving it. It was amazing. But my ambition still remained to scale my operations, scale what I was doing and get more clients. I always had that magical 10K a month mark in my head. So I always had that on the back burner. And then secondly, I also wanted to still have time to create amazing video and do that and not lose my passion for it. I didn't want to be outsourcing every client I had come in, because I still wanted to be invested in these projects. I still wanted to be a growth partner. I still wanted to see the success of my clients, and I still wanted to be a part of their project. So the bottom line was, I had these clients I was fulfilling. I wanted to scale, but I also wanted to be able to manage my time so that I'm not flat out. I ruled out the idea of doing cold outreach. Cold outreach just wasn't going to work for me. Cold outreach, in my opinion, is a complete waste of time. If you're doing cold outreach, okay, let me think about this. You could spend like a week doing solely cold outreach and there's no reliability that you'll see results. Granted, you will get a few emails back and you might book a few meetings, but it's not reliable and it's a very time-heavy system. It takes a lot of your time to send these emails, to send these texts, to call up these people, and a lot of the time it doesn't work out. So in my head, I knew I needed to build a system that was going to bring me a reliable stream of inbound leads. And that's when I stumbled across the idea of building a personal brand. Now I'm sure you've heard this like all over the internet at the moment, because it's quite a big thing in the SMMA guru niche. But the idea of posting content for the sake of building a personal brand and building that credibility and the idea that you're an expert in your niche, and having clients come to you. So I knew that was what I needed to do. And I knew that was kind of that was the service that I wanted to offer other people as well. So with that in mind, I leveled up my content. I started posting loads of reels like this. I had a few hit like 15K. And as a result, I actually had a load of interest from clients and stuff like that. And then I was able to sign 2 or 3 more clients, which obviously increased my monthly retainers. It also meant that I was able to sort of deal with one of my existing clients where we now work together and bring in business, and I fulfill a lot of that business as well. So at this point, maybe this was coming up like a couple of months ago now, like 2 months ago maybe, I've now got constant content going out. I've got a supply of leads coming in to the point where I can now onboard clients and continue to grow this business. But the problem then arose that my time. The problem arose that I don't have enough time. Time is a very difficult thing to manage when you're starting out, especially when things happen so quickly. So for me, in the space of like 3 months, I went from editing like 3 clips a day for a set rate to handling 7 clients, all paying me a monthly retainer, all wanting social media content, all wanting social media strategy with very tight deadlines. And my idea is that I want to be able to create good content, and I don't want to be limited in what I can do, and I don't want to sacrifice quality for the sake of bringing in loads of money. So what it made me realize is that I need to build systems so that, for example, I saw a great quote from someone on Instagram the other day, and they said, oh, it was that guy that he does like the automation on TikTok. He's really big at the moment. I think he's making thousands of dollars a month or whatever. But he effectively said, if I gave you 100 clients tomorrow, would you be able to handle them? And I saw that and I was like, no, I wouldn't be able to handle that. What do I need to do? So I looked into it a bit more and I said, right, I need to build out systems that A, automate the onboarding process, B, allow me to scale efficiently, and C, there's a really a C, but those 2 things are essential. So that was everything from contracts, that was Google Drives, that was setting up Slack channels, setting up WhatsApp chats, stuff like that. So all the little monotonous tasks I had to do for onboarding were all automated. So that meant that the onboarding system was completely seamless and completely fine, and I could scale without having to stress about all that stuff. The next thing was obviously the time spent editing. If I've got 100 clients, I can't edit daily content for them. That's just not a thing. And up until a couple of months ago, I was doing all of that content. I was doing it personally. Well, I've got one client that has 2 YouTube videos a week and 2 daily shorts. Even that's a full-time job, let alone the other 5 clients who want daily clips and the 2 trailers a week for the podcast, etc., stuff like that. It doesn't work. So I started having to build out a team of editors, and that didn't take too long, surprisingly. Another benefit of having a personal brand and posting content regularly is you make a name for yourself within your niche. Regardless of how small your account is, I've only got like 2.7k followers on Instagram, right? But as a result, you build a name for yourself in that industry and in that niche. So as soon as I put a story up saying looking for part-time editors, looking for full-time editors, you get a load of messages. I think I got like 20 DMs within like a day just from putting a story up, which is crazy, just from people responding who had followed me or them sending it to their mates, stuff like that. I had loads of interest. So that's another benefit, is that it allows you to scale much more efficiently in terms of hiring staff, because the staff are already there potentially. Also, you've got things like Facebook groups where you literally put a message in and you have, I think I had like 50 people message me from that, but that I didn't have time to go through it. But my point is that I was then able to scale and have a lot of the operations side taken care of for me, and that meant I could focus on building the business, creating my content, and bringing in more business, right? The three things I want you to take away from this video are that A, you need to build a personal brand. You need to be posting content online about your niche, about your service offering. That's going to bring in potential clients that you can then close through Instagram without having to spend hours doing cold outreach, because that's a fucking waste of time. Two, you need to have systems in place to be able to handle those clients coming in. There's no point having all these hot leads coming in, closing them, and not being able to handle them, right? And then the third thing is more of a personal nugget of wisdom from this experience I've had. And I know I'm in no position to be giving out life advice, right? I'm 22 years old and I've been running an agency for 4 months. But I had a contact who wanted to give me 6 or 7 clients. And that would have meant I was earning over 10K from just those clients per month. But it didn't work out. And it didn't work out because it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't particularly the kind of people I wanted to work with. It's your reach. You have to stick to what you enjoy, because if you enjoy the work you do, then staying at the office all day, like it's 11:30 now, staying at the office all day isn't a chore when you love what you do. I saw an interesting quote from, I think it was Grayson Lupas on Instagram. Sick creator if you haven't checked him out. But he said you need to design your dream life and then design your business around that dream life, and not the other way around. So you shouldn't be building your life around your business. And I really agree with that. So with that in mind, the third piece of information to take on board from this video is that don't sacrifice the passions you have and the things you enjoy for the sake of building a successful business. And I know that hustle culture and grind mentality, blah, 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 will tell you otherwise, but you need to remember why you've built this business. It's for a reason. You need to enjoy what you do, and if you don't, you're not going to make it very far. Jesus, I've been recording for like 20 minutes now. I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but if you enjoyed this video, show us some love, drop a like, and stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting a lot more regularly now. And follow me on Instagram at @sambuckster if you've come from YouTube as well. Lots of love, guys. Thank you for watching.